Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how capitalism thrives on people being divided. Now, capitalism, I'm not saying that it's good or bad. I'm trying to describe what it is. If you've seen my previous videos, you would know that I don't believe in a right or wrong. I don't believe that this is right or this is wrong, but there are certain things that just are what they are. It's just what they are. Let me see. It's a very hard example, but let's say there's a piece of wood that a tree that has a limb that falls from a tree and it crushes a person. Is it right or wrong that that tree crushed a person? It's just what it is. It's just what it is, and it's unfortunate. It's painful for the family and all that stuff. But this is to talk about. This is more or less to talk about capitalism and how it works, so that you can understand what it's all about. Because they really do not teach us this in school. I had to learn this through experience, through observation, not through any type of literature. Maybe some lectures from MIT. Even though I did not go to MIT, luckily we have MIT on YouTube. So learned a little bit about capitalism. Plus, I could see it at work and how it works, and I'm starting to understand it more. And it's good to understand these things so that you can use them. Even though I say good and bad, what more or less what I mean is like it's beneficial and pleasurable for you to know these things. Um, the reason why I say good is because it's a common word that people understand. So it's not like hypocrisy or stuff like that. You say, "Oh, this guy don't." You just said right or wrong or good and bad. You didn't believe in that. Well, we have these words that we use to describe certain things, and some of the things is good and bad. That's a word to describe something that is pleasurable or beneficial. So to know about capitalism is a huge benefit to a person. Um, Capitalism is a lot like the show Squid Games. If you're not familiar with that show, everyone is competing to get out of debt. Basically, they're just there to get out of debt. They're working real hard to survive, and they're competing against each other. And even though they're not directly competing against each other, the system puts them against each other because of these rules. Now, no person wants to harm another person when they make money, but the the default of capitalism is that someone has to lose for you to win. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say this belt buckle right here. I bought this belt buckle a while back for like $1. Let's say I sell it for $2. I make $2, but someone sells that same belt buckle for $20. I just lost that $18. So that guy won $18 from me because he had more knowledge of an item and he made more money than me. I just wanted to get rid of it. That's kind of how capitalism works. Someone is losing their house. They cannot pay their mortgage payment and they're about to lose their house. So some people wait till they lose that house. They buy the house cheap and then they sell it for a lot of money, which the original people who owned the house could have done, or they could have got a reassessment loan, or they could have got some. If they had the knowledge, they could have got more loans, or some strategies to keep their homes. But since they didn't know that, and someone capitalized on their uneducated or unawareness, and they made money off of it, and that is capitalism 100%. That is why some people feel that capitalism is evil, because someone has to lose for others to win. Now, what people are not aware of, that you should be aware of, is that a person that is employed by someone is making a company around $10,000 a week. That is what you should know. So, how much are they paying you a week? I'm talking about any person. People work at a factory. People work at a factory. People work at a McDonald's. People work at a law firm. They're making at least $10,000 a week for a person if you work for someone. I'm more experienced in transmissions, so I know that a transmission specialist makes around anywhere from $1,200 to $2,000 a week. And if you have privilege and favor with people, you could also get up to $3,500 a week, depending on your privilege or sometimes even your nationality, I guess, or your whiteness. So, the way you look actually does depend on how much they pay you, and what you are also uh, hugely um, increases your salary. Um, so what you got to know about capitalism is that companies know that when you're young, you have a lot of energy, you don't have a lot of knowledge in work, you don't know your worth, you don't know what you are worth, so they give you a minimum wage because you think that minimum wage is a starting wage. So essentially, what a company is doing is capitalizing on someone that is uneducated and unaware of the working world. Now, whose fault is it that they are unaware? Ultimately, it cannot be anybody's fault, but you can blame the educational system. You could blame the parents. You can blame oneself. You will never run out of people to blame. You could blame the where you were lived and all that stuff, but all that stuff is irrelevant. It's just what happens. And with technology, we know more now. So we can warn people and we could tell them, look, you are 18 years old, you are young, you are worth a lot of money, you're going to be the most creative right now, you're going to have the most energy to work. Do not work for so little. And minimum wage does not mean starting wage. A company can pay you up to $5,000 a week. And I'm talking about McDonald's. McDonald's has the ability to pay $5,000 a week. Now, with negotiation and capitalism and bargaining, you're not going to let a person know that you are capable of paying someone $5,000 a week to flip burgers. You're going to keep that a secret, or you're going to lie about it, because it is not illegal for an employer to lie to a person and say, well, we can't afford to pay you $5,000 a week. And they can use any type of manipulation to get you to pay for work for minimum wage. They're gonna laugh at you. They're gonna say you're crazy. No one gets paid $5,000 a week. And most of the times, sometimes they're right. People will work for minimum wage if they are truly desperate. So they are capitalizing on desperate people. And there's a lot of them that need jobs, that just want a job. They don't care about this whole Great Resignation movement. But what they're really doing is bringing people down. So this is just a little clip of capitalism. Capitalism is a lot more complicated than this, so I'm going to try to make a lot of more points so that you can understand it more and you can play the game, because it's not going away soon. And this, if you understand how something works, you'll understand how to throw a wrench at it. And like, a transmission, Um, a transmission runs on oil, on transmission fluid. It's hydraulic. If it's automatic, all you have to do is loosen the pan bolts on a transmission and get rid of the oil and the put the bolts back on there and run the transmission for less than a mile, and the entire transmission will burn up and fry and catch on fire. So knowing how something works will actually teach you how to destroy it also. So it's beneficial to know this. Now, is it my intention to destroy capitalism? Not really. I think we could probably use it somehow. I think what we need to do is update it. You know how like when your phone starts to lag and the apps don't work that well, you need to update it. That's what we need to do with capitalism. Probably put a little bit of socialism in there and kind of fix it and tweak it, add some new stuff to it so that it benefits everyone without the permission of governments, because governments take a long time and drag their feet to get things done, and most of the time you ask them for something, they don't really do anything about it.